You can't take it anymore. Dang it! It didn't work. Never try to commit suicide with the one gun that failed to kill that laughing dog in Duck Hunt 20 years ago. If I can't blow my brains out, then I might as well just review this turd of a game. Welcome to Super Mario Advance, the worst remake I think I have ever played. Before I begin talking about this terrible, terrible game, I had a question. How did this portable Game Boy Advance ever get so popular based on its launch? Think about it. 3 launch titles were advertised big at launch. There was Super Mario Kart, which released a little after launch, and as I've already reviewed, it has not aged well. We had this game, which I'm reviewing now, and I am going to totally trash. And then we had another one that was kind of good, Castlevania Circle of the Moon. Unfortunately, playing it on this model is crap. Why? Well, it's a Game Boy Advance model that had bad lighting, and Castlevania had a dark color palette. When you add those two together, you might as well have played them blindfolded. What can I say about the graphics of this game, other than it actually looks pretty good, at least when it comes to the colors and animation. The colors have been upgraded from where they were in the All-Stars, and there's even some extra frames of animation for running and sliding and animations for the Super Jump. However, just because there's some extra colors doesn't necessarily mean that the game plays better because of this. It's on the Game Boy Advance. That means the screen had to be cropped, especially on the top. And the game programmers did a terrible job of adapting to this. Watch the scene for example. In this case, I jumped a little off screen with Luigi here and got hit with a spark that I could have no way have seen before. Now here's an area that just pisses me off. I die right here from a fireball from a fire plant that I couldn't have possibly have seen due to the bad cropping, and the game is just full of areas like this. It doesn't matter how pretty you make the colors. If you can't do it due to this bad cropping, then you shouldn't do it at all. Here I go. If you can't tell by now, I'm not a real big fan of the sound in this game, and I'll tell you why. Every little thing has a voice clip, and I do mean everything. Going into doors? Check. Grabbing cherries. Doing a super jump. And of course, my ear-bleeding favorite, digging through sand. Rather than improving the game, the voice clips instead seem to get in the way of the enjoyment of the original. With the way they're constructed and always going, I just can't help but feel like these are the voices that would be inside a crazy person's head. And, you know, it almost drove me nuts just recording the video for this for an hour, listening to it. It's way too much. Yes, I get what Nintendo was trying to do. Hey, we can have better audio with this new portable, so we can finally add voice clips to your new games, or even to your old remakes. However, these don't improve the gameplay experience. On the contrary, they take away from it. In fact, rather than making me fond of the remake, these bad sound clips that just keep popping up everywhere make me want to go play the original even more. Now, while a great remake will make you nostalgic for the original a little bit, it won't make you want to toss away the remake in favor of the original. And that's what Super Mario Advance does. It makes me want to toss it out and just play the original. There's no redeeming value in these sound clips. And that's just a shame, because it's obviously they worked hard on it. They even got 2 good voice actors, Charles Martinet and Jen Taylor. Yes, that's right, Microsoft fanboys. The voice of Toad and Peach in this one belongs to Jen Taylor, the voice of Cortana from Halo. In fact, I kind of found it funny when Microsoft announced that their new personal assistant on their Windows phones would be named Cortana. And all the Xbox fanboys got really hyped. I was like, I wonder if they could bring back Jen Taylor, except she would sound like this. Hey, Cortana, find me a pizza. Yikes! Take this! What can I say? I have a sick sense of humor. But you know what's even more sick? The gameplay in this remake. They've changed so much, and most of it's for the worse. They have 1 or 2 good ideas, but most of it's for the worse. Let me get started. First thing you'll notice upon dropping down into a completely new opening scene is that someone was obviously eating magic mushrooms. Not only do you have that thing right there to pop up, but look at the size of some of these Shy Guys that appear. Are giant Shy Guys too much of a drug trip? Check out the giant vegetables you can now pull up. And they've now even included a Mario score system just for the heck of it, which means you can now get 1-ups by killing 8 enemies at once with the POW block. And guess what? Now in each stage there's an extra mushroom, so you can now carry up to 5 hearts. And if you think all of a sudden it will be easier because you can now carry 5 hearts, think again. In the original and all-star versions of Super Mario Bros. 2, you get refilled to full when you die. Here, you start off with only 1 heart. Making those areas with those screen cropping bugs even more annoying. And do I even need to go on to the BS side quest that opens up after the game's completed? Basically, you have to go around and try to find Yoshi eggs and subspace. Your reward for completing this task? I hear that green egg in the title screen turns red. That is so worth the effort. Not. Is there anything I can say that's good about this game? Well, occasionally some of the bat crap craziness actually is a little fun. And I guess I should give some props to the new boss, Roberto, who is actually kind of fun. But that's about the only really great thing I can say about the remake, is this one extra boss. The rest of it's kind of, well, crappy. And some of these changes wouldn't be terrible if there was an original or a remix mode that I could choose from. If I wanted to play a classic version of Mario Bros. 2 and then go crazy when I want to. Unfortunately, the only other mode is the original Mario Bros. Game seen here. And I'll be honest, this is a really great remake of the original Mario Bros. You can even have a link play between 2 Game Boy Advances with it, so it's really fun. However, I can't really give this game too much praise. Why? Well, the idea was you were allowed to play Mario Brothers with anybody who owned a Mario game pack for the Game Boy Advance, not just this one. It was included on all Mario Advances, and even Mario and Luigi had it. So it's like all the other Game Boy Advance Mario games have this mode. So, like I said, I can't really recommend it just because it has this mode when the other ones, which are way better, also have this mode. So why do I consider this the worst Mario game of all time? Worse than Mario is Missing, worse than Mario Sunshine, worse than Mario Strikers? Well, because this one crafts over what was a really good game. It didn't need all these audio clips. It didn't need all these changes. It was good enough already. And none of these changes help it. And if you're not going to be better than the original, then why bother remaking it at all, to paraphrase the Nostalgia Critic. So with this remake so god-awfully terrible, what about the other Mario Advances for the Game Boy Advance? Well, some good news. They're actually not really that bad. I played through the rest of them, and while I don't own them, or I've only owned them recently, some friends gave me the rest of them, They're not bad. Sound-wise, I would go more for the Super Nintendo versions over the Game Boy Advances, but the Game Boy Advances have good extras in them, and they're not shoved in your face this time. You have an option whether you want to play as Luigi, which will change the way the game's played, or Mario, and while there's still annoying sound clips, they're not to the point where I want to do this. I give Super Mario Advance I would rather watch the live-action Super Mario Brothers movies 100 times in a row than play this crap again. Out of 5. And don't worry about this. This is just a harmless NES zapper like, and it's not like I could hurt myself with this. Well, again, maybe not. If you like this video, remember to like and subscribe to my channel, please. Also, feel free to tell me if you actually liked this game or not. I welcome dissenting opinions. Thank you.